The 230 stocks that they have ever bought, 40 of those stocks, or 17% in other words, they only held for a quarter. Forget 10 years, 3 months. If you look at it, if you add 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 4 quarters is 1 year, right? A cumulative of 60%, 60.43. 60.43 means that 60% of the companies that they have ever bought were sold within the first year itself. My name is Arpit Arora. I'm India's leading personal finance expert and passive income coach, and I'm on that quest to change the middle class of India and transform their financial life in such a way that they are able to have the potential to follow their passion. They have the focus to follow their passion. They are not distracted by money because they're creating enough passive income, and most importantly, they're able to live with inner peace and joy. And that, my friends, happens by winning the game of money. That happens when you upgrade your financial IQ, and that most importantly happens when you are committed to achieve financial freedom in your life, because it cannot happen without a commitment. And it is my commitment to make sure you get all the support that you need to walk and achieve that destination. How long does Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway, in other words, how long does Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway hold their stocks? I want you to see a visualizer of this. Then we're going to do some data crunching, and then we're going to have a discussion around it. One thing that Warren Buffett is often very well known for, and the things that he say often is seen in the social media and other places. One of the key quotes that he said was that if you aren't willing to own a stock for more than 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. Now I wanted to watch a certain data. This visualizer is that of Warren Buffett investing in different companies from 1994 to current. I'm sure you'll enjoy it as much as I did. So the year 1994 starts. Coca-Cola is getting more stake. Gillette, American Express. American Express is a credit card company as we know it. Wells Fargo is a bank, and Gillette. These are three biggest holdings. 2004 comes, the asset allocation changes. P&G, FMCG comes into this. Wells Fargo is majorly increasing stake. Coca-Cola is still there. American Express is there. But number of stocks are increasing if you look at it. IBM now, IT company, has also come into this, something that Warren Buffett did not invest into before. Interestingly enough, Wells Fargo, the biggest stake now is being replaced by Apple, and Wells Fargo's stake is going down, down, down. Eventually, it will evaporate. It's gone. Apple has become the biggest holding. Bank of America is still there from day one. Coca-Cola is still there from day one. American Express is still there from the very, very early age. This is what we have seen in this entire period, right? Now that you've seen this data, let's do another level of crunching. Well, by the way, did you like this data? Was it interesting? Do you want me to find similar information for you in the future sessions as well? Okay. So here is something that you might not have analyzed. This data is only corrected up to 2010. So there is no latest data on it. But up till 2010, this is the length of the stocks that Berkshire Hathaway owned. On the left side, you see number of quarters. Okay. Then you see number of stocks, then you see percentage holding, and then you see cumulative. So we can ignore the cumulative for now. The 230 stocks that they have ever bought, 40 of those stocks, or 17% in other words, they only held for a quarter. Forget 10 years, 3 months. If you look at it, if you add 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 4 quarters is 1 year, right? A cumulative of 60%, 60.43. 60.43 means that 60% of the companies that they have ever bought were sold within the first year itself. If we go by the 10-year rule, means 120 months
or effectively in this chart as per 50 plus quarters. Only 7 or 3% of those companies were this. Amongst those 3%, I presume, not, I don't have to presume, I know the data. American Express is one of them. Coca-Cola is one of them. We can again go back to that chart and we get to know a few names. Which ones were they? Coca-Cola, American Express, Wells Fargo is not there anymore, but they still held it for more than 10 years for sure. Kraft, this Kraft food company, has also been there in the same period. IBM, not so sure about that. Apple, I don't think this has completed 10 years. Bank of America is still there. It's been there since 2008, so that is also there. Effectively, these are those sort of companies which are amongst the lowest, which is amongst the 10-year holding period. So obviously, because the data is up till 2010, last 12, 13 years of data is not into this. But despite Warren Buffett saying that don't own, if you're not wanting to hold for 10 years, don't even buy it for 10 minutes. Why the hypocrisy? Why doesn't he do it himself? A lot of people say Warren Buffett is a hypocrite. He says one thing, does the other. The thing is that the way with which he is not a hypocrite, he's smarter, much more smarter than you can think. When he says these statements are said in a certain context. किसी को कुछ समझाते हुए बातें बताई जाती हैं. For the same example, if an investor comes to me and says कि Arpit, I don't want to buy indexes, मुझे stocks ही खरीदने हैं. So I probably would also say do good amount of research in fundamental research in a company. अगर 10 साल own करना है तो technicals देखने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. आप कंपनी के fundamentals देखो. When you've seen the fundamentals of the company, then buy and you forget the stock. In other words, if you cannot think of owning it for 10 years, don't even buy it for 10 minutes. Because you will end up trading with it. Now, in this context, an advice given to someone can be very easily quoted and kept on being circulated in the social media and books and whatnot. Warren Buffett does not manage his money the same way he gives advice to amateurs or intermediate or even some advanced investors. His style of investing is although passive, but if his investment philosophy is not met by the company on a quarter-to-quarter basis, he will exit out of the company saying, I don't understand the company. Maybe I did not understand how they operate, or something in the company has changed that does not make me want to stay invested into it. That is the reason why he switches so often. This is also the reason why we, for the longest time, did not have a buy and hold strategy. And now that we introduced it in the last quarter in stocks, that too was a limited window opportunity. That's people who are aggressive investors, who can buy and hold stock for 5 years, who have a certain amount of corpus, let's say 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs, can only invest into this so that they can get the benefit from a certain point in the market, jahan pe market was very cheap. If someone tomorrow comes to me when the market is 5-10% up from here and says, mujhe usi strategy mein invest karna hai, I will surely, we will not do it. No matter what they're willing to do, we will not do it. Then we will propose a buy and churn strategy. If you buy a certain company, it reaches a certain target, you sell it and you buy another one. So you're not trading, but you are short-term value investing into the stock. This is exactly also the philosophy of Warren Buffett as well. He uses a philosophy of both actually in the middle.